Hello everybody, my name is Ratnos, and welcome to Mythic Soulbinder Naazindhri, a very easy boss on Mythic, if you make sure to not get caught by surprise by the Mythic mechanic here. And also, if you know, there's one neat trick that Soulbinder Naazindhri does not want you to know. Starts like Heroic, you're going to want to bring it over here to between two of these ads. Doesn't matter too much which ones you do, but this is, I think, the best route to take the boss. Here you have a Phase Blade and an Assassin, and the big thing is just Phase Blades are the most important ones. Killing as many of those as possible is good. I wouldn't go too far out of your way. Now, you need to hit these with both an Orb and a Beam to break them out on Mythic, but you can do what this player's done and just bring the Orbs inside the canister there, and it'll just hit them, and it'll also remove all of the orbs at the same time. So you do that, that makes this kind of trivial, and yeah, just use the Liquid Weak Cores, it'll tell people left or right, and figure out what left and right mean, and agree on a definition. Then as these knockbacks happen, you just want to make sure to all get knocked back to the same place. It doesn't matter too much where that is, but we had some world markers that we were just always aiming at that we pre-placed, because we just watched what another guild did, what Liquid did or whatever, and yoink that, and then get knocked back as a group. As long as you are not getting knocked back in all different directions or getting knocked back directly to where you want to play, that mechanic isn't going to be an issue. And again, you can see one person with each left and right is just getting inside the container or making sure to hit it with one of the projectiles. But it's really nice to just send them inside the container, because then you remove orbs for the rest of your raid to dodge as well. The tank mechanic here is it's called Mystic Lash, and it just puts a nasty dot on you, but it's not even really a dodge, it's just like 6 hits that do increasing damage, and then if you get hit by the second one, it does even more. Main thing to note about this is you can't taunt during the cast. You want to taunt after the cast. If you taunt during the cast, it will immediately switch to you, so it's actually fine to do that for the very first cast, but anytime after that, and you are going to extend your debuff. Here you can see some disagreement. Both people with left just went inside. Not a big deal. Doesn't really change anything. The more important thing is hit the lines, because you get 4 orb people and only 2 line people, so make sure that the orb people hit. And then these ones, you only have about 10 seconds when you break before the boss will break out any remaining ads. So make sure to actually hit them. Doesn't have to be too hard. Then here we get some mages and phase blades and assassins. The mages, you just want to stun, grip, that kind of thing. The phase blades are immune to grip, and they are the big nasty targets. What they're going to do is put debuffs on the raid that do quite a lot of damage. So with those, just having mass dispels from any priests in your raid, imp dispels from any warlocks in your raid will go a very long way, and just burst them down. You can't lose this fight if you kill the phase blades in any reasonable time frame and you know all the other mechanics. It's a very trivial encounter otherwise. And then again, just don't be shocked that there's a knockback coming. And look what I did there. So when you get knocked back, you drop the puddle behind based on where you land. So me hitting my spacebar there and gliding caused me to drop that puddle in melee. Luckily, there's way more room than you need, and that we're not going to use that space again, but that's something that you got to be careful of, is a lot of your reaction is going to be to cancel a knockback against you, and if you do that at the wrong time, you might put a puddle in a bad spot, in which case you'll easily be able to play around it, but try not to do that. Then we get to this other side here, and unlike Heroic, you can't just go back to where you just were. I mean, you could, but there's some puddles over there, so you don't have to. Again, just kill the 2 ads, do the knockback over to the other side. Again, you don't want to get knocked back directly over there. Put a world marker on, or not a world marker, but even a raid marker on one of your tanks or good melee DPS, and you don't even have to bother with these world markers, and just have them stand somewhere and say, okay, everybody stack on me before each of the knockbacks. Again, there's just not anything else going on that prevents you from handling each mechanic one at a time on this fight, which is part of why it is so easy. May have some difficulty getting the orbs to these in time, so that is something that you would potentially be in some danger of, depending on how you get the knockback going. So I guess look out for that. Maybe a stampeding roar or something there, but honestly, you'll probably be okay. And then we get the 5th knockback, this time getting knocked back towards Star, sort of the edge. Anytime you're getting knocked back to the edge of the room, it's probably also fine. Even though we sort of want to get knocked in this direction, we're not going to use that exact space, and it's such a big room, so as long as you're keeping that ground clumped, and it doesn't even do that much damage if you stand in it anyways. Again, last set here, making sure to hit that phase blade in the middle. I think there is a phase blade in like every set. You could do some work to try and snipe them from long range, but I feel like that's overkill, and that introduces a chance of failure that doesn't otherwise exist. If you do get hit by an orb, as I'm demonstrating for you here, it puts a little dot on you. It's about 1,000,000 damage a second, so it's not nothing, and it does slow you as well, so try and avoid that. And then there is a hit of raid damage when the boss breaks out all the ads. So yeah, you want to, again, group up the ads. Grips and stuff are good, and then taunting the phase blades, making sure that people aren't getting meleeed by them. This lines up really nicely. You can 2-minute pull and then 2-minute each of the ad spawns and do very big damage that way. And yeah, just use some CCs to stop the mobs, for the mages from doing their stuff. Kill the assassins before too much time has passed. Kill with Phase Blade as the priority mob there. Next knockback is coming, and now from now on, for us, the boss is at 30%. This is our first pull, right? And you may have better gear, more damage. As long as your boss is anywhere around there, you're not going to have to deal with the ads. So the next set of ads. So don't break any of them out. Once you get here for the third time, all you have to do is just attack the boss. The boss spawns a bunch of ads. Don't panic. Don't break any of them out, and just kill it. If you needed to, I guess you could kill those ads, but honestly, if you needed to do that, how did you kill Plexus Sentinel and get to this point in the first place? The damage check on this boss, I guess maybe if you had a bunch of people DC on this fight and you wanted to still continue the pull, you'd want to do another set of ads. But yeah, our strategy from this point is just ignore them and kill the boss directly. Just try and get all knocked back in the same direction. But at this point, we were calling, hey, it doesn't matter. Get knocked back anywhere you want. Try not to do what we just did there with dropping a puddle under the boss. But if that happens, you can just move the boss over to the other side, or just play it and not stand in the puddle. Everybody should be able to do that. And then put the orbs somewhere where you're not going to hit the raid. Make sure that you're aiming those lines such that they don't pass through the raid, which we didn't do there. And it didn't really matter. One Warlock got hit, has that little dot. It's not too bad. Little heal absorbs do come out here as well. They're not too bad. And then the boss should die before the next ads. It's very difficult to stretch out this video any longer. So yeah, that's it. That's Mythic Soulbinder Naazindhri. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.